Hi everybody, my name is Christian Schaefer and I'm the current convener of the Australian Mirror Panel of CIGRE Committee C1, Power System Planning and Economics. This presentation is an activities update of the local and international C1 activities, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land from which I'm presenting to you today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. I also pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and also extend my respects to the elders of other communities who may be present today. Planning and development of a secure, sustainable and affordable power system remains a major challenge in our fast-changing energy environment. It's not good enough to only consider how we will operate our current and even our future power systems safely and reliably. We also need to seriously consider how we develop the next generation of our power grid, one that is going to be increasingly renewable, decentralized, asynchronous and connected to other energy vectors. The exogenous influences of increasingly severe compounding weather events and the threat of man-made adverse and malicious influences continue to put pressure on planners to develop resilient systems that can meet these many challenges. Committee C1 investigates many of the traditional aspects of a power system planning economics, from economic means of a system expansion to the efficient and effective management of network assets, as well as the development of tools and processes to achieve these goals. There are many new challenges planners are facing that arise from the power grid being at the centre of the energy transition towards a carbon dioxide neutral energy system. Hence, in addition to the traditional challenges, the committee's work is also beginning to consider the increasing decentralisation, the growing energy sector interdependencies, and new energy sources integration issues faced by many system developers. And correspondingly, the many new dimensions of the system development tackled in our C1 work include power system resilience, economically achieving higher interconnection rates between countries and adjacent regions, increasing dependence of transmission grids on the evolutions in the distribution grid, and sector coupling and integration with other systems. Much of the C1 work seeks to investigate uncertainties due to the increasing penetration of renewables energy from an investment perspective, but it's not all about the technical design. The business management consideration of C1 involve investment decisions in all aspects of the network, including generation, transmission, distribution, storage, and demand with its flexibility. It complements system planning with broader analyses of whether and how investments can actually be made and infrastructure built. More specifically, the work in this area describes how investment drivers and regulatory processes are changing, how to communicate with the many relevant stakeholders, and how transmission and distribution investments relate to each other. All of these activities are relevant for Australia. To support and participate, the Australian Panel C1 has built on the strong work of the past years to reboot our activities with a number of new members joining and a refocus of our activities to enable the design of the future grid. It's been a busy year. Despite the COVID lockdowns, C1 still managed to achieve some significant milestones, including the completion of and near completion of 7 working group technical brochures, as well as a technical green book. One of the things that we can be proud of is the extensive Australian and New Zealand engagement and contribution to the global C1 activities and working groups over the past year, including, not least, Graham Ansell's leadership and development of the Asset Management Green Book that is now available on the CIGRE site. We have an Australian convener of one of the in-progress C1 working groups. We have membership of a technical brochure that is nearing completion, and 6 further Australian members on in-progress working groups. And it's great to see the active participation of our members on so many of these technical working groups, and something that we look to actively encourage, in addition to the collaboration with other committees in joint working groups. When we consider the topics that the many working groups are looking into, we are taken back to the earlier points I made of the critical areas that are being considered, including sector coupling, power system resilience, and renewable integration. And those topics were also a focus of the Centennial event held in August of this year. The Centennial event was running once again in a completely virtual manner, but it appeared to work, and despite some late nights and early mornings for some of us, the Committee C1 met for 2 quite lengthy general discussion meetings, a joint workshop with C6 on the use of hydrogen to support the energy transition, and a tutorial on the development of a power system that mitigates the impact of climate change. Altogether, there were 61 papers submitted to the Centennial for C1, and the 3 special reporters that were appointed to summarise the general themes summarised them as follows. And unsurprisingly, they fell into the preferential subject topics for 2021, which are power system resilience planning, energy sector synergies for efficient decarbonisation, and distributed energy resources in transmission planning. These 3 subjects are the same as they were for 2020, indicating that they continue to be a focus of research and industry globally. Looking ahead, it's not surprising that the working groups proposed during the Paris sessions continue the themes of system expansion, renewable integration, and sector coupling. As to the activities of the Australian Mirror Panel for C1 during the past 12 months, we've only met twice, both times virtually, mainly to maintain a connection, share updates from the C1 meetings in February and the GM in September. Looking ahead, and with a hope that restrictions will be lifted in the coming months, we'll look to host not only 2 short virtual meetings, but also a longer face-to-face one. Additionally, we've had some changes to the group's makeup, with several members taking up new roles in different parts of the energy sector, and finally some members retiring from the group after many years of active participation. So come next year, we'll look to expand our group numbers once more, looking for new ideas, fresh faces, and enthusiastic members. In addition to reconnecting and engagement for the past year, focus of the group's activities in the next year will be looking to participate in the global C1 activities, with a C1 meeting at the Kyoto Symposium and the 49th session in Paris come August. And additionally, we are looking to prepare our contributions to the Cairns Symposium that is coming up in the last quarter of 2023. So, if like the rest of the Australian Panel C1, you believe that the way that we design and develop the system of the future is one of the most critical responsibilities electrical engineers face in the years ahead, please do reach out and get in touch. I would love to hear from you and talk power system planning and economics. Thank you and goodbye. In the meantime, thank you very much and stay safe.